In this video, we're going to look at how to extract information from a displacement versus position graph and a displacement versus time graph. Both graphs are showing the depiction of what happens to an object moving in a wave-like fashion. One of them is measured with respect to position, the other is measured with respect to time. Let's take a look. The first question is asking for the period. Now the period, the correct symbol we should be using is the capital letter T. Remember, symbol means variable. Now from the graph, the period is the time it takes to complete one cycle. Well, if we look at the displacement versus time graph, we can see one cycle gets repeated in 0.2 seconds. Point 0.2 would be the number, seconds would be the unit. We got this from one cycle on the second graph. Okay, now wave speed, I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to come back to wave speed because we have to build up to that. Wavelength. Well, similarly, wavelength is one cycle, but it's measured with a unit of distance rather than unit of time. So if we go over to the left graph and we follow from, let's say, this point here, we can see one cycle is approximately 6 meters. 6 meters. The symbol for it is the Greek letter lambda. Now, many of you were not able to find that in the special keyboard to display it in the Junopod, so you could have just written the word lambda, and that would satisfy for the variable for wavelength. We got this from one cycle of the first graph. Okay. The frequency. The frequency is how many cycles happen every second. Well, if we look carefully, there's a total of 1 second at the end of the right graph. And we can see we cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 graphs in 1 second, 5 cycles in 1 second. Therefore, the frequency is 5 hertz. Hz is the symbol for hertz. The unit of frequency is a lowercase f. And we got this by counting the number of cycles in 1 second on the second graph. Lastly, we get to wave speed. Well, the symbol for that's going to be a V. The wave speed is found, and I'm going to jump all the way over to here. The wave speed is found by going frequency times wavelength. So if we take our frequency, 5 hertz, times our wavelength, 6 meters, we get 30 meters per second. And that is how we find wavelength, frequency, period, and wave speed from a wave graph.